2026. North America, 48 teams, 104 games. But none of those numbers tell you what this tournament is really about. This year, at the same tournament, on the same pitches, at the same time, 10 legends are playing together for the very last time. We grew up watching them. We cried with them. We celebrated with them. And now, they are leaving. Yes, Messi is on this list. So is Ronaldo. But first, we start with the legends that people are beginning to forget. Because this story is not about two men. This may be the last World Cup for an entire generation that defined football for the past 20 years. Stay until the end, because the order of the final two names will spark a debate. Guillermo Ochoa. 2014 Brazil. Group stage. Brazil versus Mexico. The whole world expected the host to win. One goalkeeper had other ideas. Neymar shot, Ochoa saved. Hulk shot, Ochoa saved. Brazil shot, Ochoa saved. Mexico walked away with a 0-0, and the world learned the name Guillermo Ochoa. Ochoa is heading to his 6th World Cup in 2026. Only 3 goalkeepers in football history have ever reached that number. He is 41 years old. He is still there, still standing in goal. And yet, across all those years, Mexico never made it past the round of 16. 6 tournaments, 1 man, 0 progression. Ochoa did everything a goalkeeper could do, but during his era, Mexico could never break through that wall. Manuel Neuer. In 2023, Manuel Neuer announced he was done. International football was over for him. A year later, he came back. Why? Because Germany could not find a goalkeeper to replace him. That says as much about Germany's failure as it does about Neuer's greatness. Neuer has been in the Germany squad since 2008. For 17 years, he has been the last line of defense. There is still no suitable replacement. But Neuer is not simply a goalkeeper who has lasted a long time. He changed the position entirely. The sweeper keeper, a goalkeeper who steps out, reads the game like a libero. That concept is his invention. He won the World Cup in 2014. He fought through cancer. He came back. And now, at 40 years old, he is at his final World Cup. Being the starting goalkeeper for Germany at 40 is, in itself, a record worth noting. Sadio Mané. 2002 World Cup. Opening match. Senegal defeated the world champion France. One of the biggest upsets in African football history had occurred. One of the children watching that game was Sadio Mané. Years later, that boy became the face of African football. Mané is one of the rare footballers to win both the Champions League and the Premier League, as well as lead his country to victory in the Africa Cup of Nations. In 2022, he finally led Senegal to the World Cup. Then came the worst news. He got injured just a few weeks before the tournament. The whole country waited for him to make a miraculous recovery. The miracle didn't happen. Senegal's biggest star had to watch the World Cup from the sidelines. And now, 2026 is here. He's 34 years old. This is likely his last World Cup. It's not easy to carry the hopes of a nation, but in the last decade, it's impossible to talk about African football without mentioning Sadio Mané. 2026 could be his final stage, and perhaps his most important. Mohamed Salah. 2018 World Cup. Egypt was back at the World Cup after 28 years. The whole country was looking to one man, Mohamed Salah. But a few weeks before the final, he injured his shoulder in the Champions League final. The World Cup started. Salah was not ready. Salah is one of the most prolific players in Premier League history, but he has only played in a few World Cups. He became a legend at Liverpool. He conquered England. He conquered Europe. But for Egypt, his biggest dream is still to make his mark at the World Cup. 2026 might be his last chance. He will be 34 years old. Many players measure their careers by trophies, but Salah's story is different. He is a soccer player who carries the hopes of a nation. 2026 could be the final grand stage of that story. Son Heung-min. 2002 South Korea and Japan, co-hosting a World Cup. Korea reached the semi-finals. The entire country went wild. One of the children dreaming in the stands that summer was Son Heung-min. That child is now 34 years old. He scored 173 goals for Tottenham, the most by any Asian player in Premier League history. He won the Europa League in 2025. He has earned more than 139 caps for his country, a Korean record. To avoid mandatory military service, Son had to win the 2018 Asian Games. He won. He was exempted. He saved his own career. He is now at LAFC. The European chapter is over. 2026 is his last World Cup. The boy who was dreaming in those stands in 2002 is now one of the greatest figures in Korean football history. Kevin De Bruyne, the golden generation. Those two words fill every Belgian football fan with equal measures of pride and pain. 2018, Russia. Belgium finished third. Their best ever result, they beat Brazil. They came back from 2-0 down against Japan. Then, in 2022 in Qatar, they went out in the group stage. The golden generation was over. empty-handed. Belgium were ranked #1 in the world by FIFA in 2018. They left the World Cup without the trophy. It remains one of the greatest paradoxes in football history. Kevin De Bruyne is still there, 35 years old, at Napoli now, but still the best Belgian player on the pitch. The younger generation still cannot replace him. 2026 is Belgium's last chance. It is De Bruyne's last chance. Both are staring at the same door. Will that door finally open? Neymar, 2014. Quarterfinal against Colombia. Neymar went down under a challenge. One knee, a fractured vertebra. Brazil wept that night. Then came 7-1. Neymar watched from the sidelines, unable to play. 2022, Qatar. He came back. First game, ankle injury. Out again. Brazil were eliminated. 2023, ACL. The anterior cruciate ligament. Months of surgery, months of silence. The national team stopped calling him. Neymar is Brazil's all-time top scorer. He surpassed Pelé. But whether Brazilians celebrate that record with joy or with grief remains somehow an open question. He is 34 years old. He has confirmed that 2026 will be his last tournament. In 2026, a redemption or the most painful farewell, the World Cup may define how Neymar's career is remembered forever. Luka Modrić. 1991. Croatia declared independence. The country's football history was short. They had never played at a World Cup. In 1998, they went for the first time. They finished third. The whole country erupted. Then Luka Modric arrived, and everything changed. At the time of the 2018 World Cup, Croatia's entire population was smaller than the population of London. That country reached the final. 2018, a final. 2022, a semi-final. These are the greatest achievements in Croatian football history, and behind both of them stands the same man. That year, 2018, the Ballon d'Or did not go to Messi. It did not go to Ronaldo. It went to Luka Modric. The world watched in astonishment. He is 40 years old. This is his 5th World Cup. In 2026, he could reach 200 caps. One thing has always been missing from his career: a World Cup title. Football is not always fair, even to the greatest players. It is impossible to speak about Croatia's recent success in football without saying his name. The last two names on this list are more than footballers. They are the symbols of an era. The debate about them never ended. It will not end in 2026 either. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo pulled on a Manchester United shirt in 2003. He was 18 years old. The world did not know who he was. He is 41 now. There is no one left in the world who does not know his name. In those 23 years, he won everything: the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, the Champions League, 4 times, the European Championship, more than 135 international goals, a world record, the most capped men's international player in history, with one exception, the World Cup. Ronaldo scored at 5 different World Cups: 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022. No player in history has ever done that. He scored at every single tournament. He won none of them. In 2018 against Spain, he scored a hat-trick, the first from the penalty spot, the second, a thunderbolt from distance, the third, in the 88th minute, diving at the near post. The whole world rose to its feet that night. Portugal went out in the next round. Definitely yes, because I will be 41 years old, he said, when a journalist asked whether this would be his last. Ronaldo rarely uses the word final. This time, he did. 41 years old, one last chance, in front of the entire world. If he wins in 2026, it will be the greatest individual achievement in football history. If he does not, football's greatest unanswered question will remain open. Can you truly be called the greatest without a World Cup? The answer to that question lives at #1. Lionel Messi. 18th of December 2022, Lusail Stadium, midnight. Argentina versus France. 3-3, penalties. The greatest final the world had ever seen. Messi walked up to take the last penalty, the most watched sporting event in the world. At its most critical moment, 35 years of longing. One kick. He scored. Argentina won. All of Argentina wept that night. The world wept with them. Because this was not simply a trophy being lifted. It was the completion of one man's entire life. In the 2022 final, Messi scored, assisted, and converted a penalty. He did everything a single player can possibly do in one match. And in that tournament, he scored in every single round. Nobody had ever done that before. So why is he still there? Why is a man of 38 or 39 going to a 6th World Cup? Ronaldo is searching for one last chance. Messi is already a champion, and he keeps going. That is something different, something harder. You have won everything, and still, you cannot leave. I love playing football, and I will keep playing for as long as I can. His own words. The 2030 World Cup will be held in Argentina. Perhaps 2026 is not the end. Perhaps the real farewell comes in 2030, on his own turf, in front of his own people. But only he will know when that moment arrives. Whatever he feels on that pitch, that will be the answer. One thing is certain, for as long as Messi plays, football fans will do everything they can to watch. The 2026 World Cup will end. New stars will emerge. New records will fall. But most of the players on this list, we will not see them at a World Cup again. This generation will one day be gone. But the moments they created, the memories they gave us, the records they set, those will stay with us forever. One question for you. Which of these 10 players will you miss the most? Leave your answer in the comments. And one more. If Ronaldo wins the World Cup in 2026, is the GOAT debate finally over? I want to see your answer below.